Hello, I'm Rachel. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be repotting some plants. I might go and check in with my fish tank and see if there's anything that is propagated enough in there that has enough roots for me to plant. I think that there is some Bridalsville Tradescantia that it's because it's grown really long and it's branched off. It's really doing great in the aquaponics, so I might go ahead and plant that. But I'm going to be repotting all of these things. I repotted this African violet not that long ago. I repotted another one along with it. But these really small pots are really hard to keep watered. I didn't want to bump these into too high of a pot because they don't really like that. But I'm just having too hard of a time keeping them watered. So one of them actually died. And I had been watering them more than once a week. I'm not overwatering them. They dry out really fast in smaller pots. So I'm going to take this one out and go ahead and put it in this pot. This actually fits inside of this one, but it's deeper, and so there'll be more of a reservoir, I guess, for it. And it is an actual African violet pot. My mom gave me this one. She'd had it up in her loft where she keeps a lot of her plants, and she keeps extra pots in there, but she gave this one to me. So this African violet can hopefully not die like the other one. It was really sad too. It was so pretty, but they were doing just fine for a while. But maybe not having the swamp cooler on anymore, the house was drier, and then it just went kaput. I've been noticing a little bit of stress on some of my plants transitioning to the seasons, but I don't think it should be that hard on them. I don't know. I've been having problems with my plants lately, you guys. It's been a big bummer. Okay, so I have this Tradescantia to repot, and oh man, this poor thing. This orchid got mealy bugs. Oh, it was so frustrating. Like, it's been doing pretty good, so I haven't repotted it yet, but it got mealy bugs, and so I treated it. It has one leaf that, oh yeah, it just came off. But this isn't a newer leaf, it's an older leaf. It's fine. The newer leaves look great, so I'm not worried about it. And then I also have this Dracenia that, I don't know, it's not my favorite plant. I think it's kind of cool, but I love this pot, and I want to use this pot for something else. I kind of want to put a white variegated pothos in it, I think. Or maybe something else, I don't really know, but I don't normally go for greens except for with plants, but otherwise green isn't my favorite color, except for this pot. I don't know why, but I love it. I think something about being more rustic, I don't know. Then I also have this, the lipstick plant in here isn't doing so great, so maybe when I repot it, the lipstick plant will do better. It's just not looking good though, but whatever. What was this again? Someone told me what it was. This is doing great though. It always is. And I have another one in my head planter. It's like half of a head. And that one's wonderful. So I'm going to repot this one today too. Don't know what kind of a pot I want to put it in, but something where maybe there's a little bit more room for both of them to grow. And maybe the lipstick plant will come back. I don't know. But let's start off with this. So, oh, and by the way, I just cleaned my house yesterday, and now I'm gonna repot plants in it, so that's cool. But my neighbor is mowing his lawn, and then someone's hammering outside, and yeah, we're not doing this video outside. Kinda wish I was though, to be honest. Sometimes it's easier to take care of plants and things without a YouTube channel. Okay, yeah, this root system on here is so tiny. Although it's not like they're known for having a big root system, so. This week I just went and I put some worm castings on most of my plants. I like to go and top dress my plants with some sort of a compost like twice a year. That way I don't have to worry about fertilizing them. So it's so much easier to do it that way. Okay, so when I am done repotting African violets, I like to get a soft paintbrush and I dust off all the leaves from the dirt, from the leaves, whatever. So that way I'm not damaging the leaves too much and I don't get any water on them. Because I do top water my African violets because I just have a lot better luck watering them that way. For one, my pots with my African violets, like these kinds of pots, keep breaking. One of them, my cat busted it out and the inside pot broke, but the outside pot was fine. Then the other one, the outside pot broke, but I glued it back together, and I don't know, I find a lot more luck watering these from the top, even with these pots, because, I mean, you're supposed to fill it up with water and let them water from the bottom, which, that's what I was doing with these, but, I don't know, it's easier for me. Then I don't have to deal with worrying about it. That takes away an extra step, and I never deal with leaf burn on my African violets as long as I protect them from the sun enough, depending on when I move them, and as long as I don't get water on the leaves. And we water them, and it's not that hard to not get water on the leaves. Sometimes these like outer leaves that get kind of droopy and are ready to come off, those ones will get some water on them. Even then though, I don't usually get leaf burn. They don't turn mushy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just have some sort of special thing with African violets. I mean, clearly not, because the other one died, but oh well. Before we move any further right now, I just want to show you this pilea. It's the one that I have that's similar to a dark mystery, but I've just had this in the little cup. It's like a little mini stein, and it's growing roots and it's doing really good. It just broke off one day and I stuck it in some water and it's trucking along just fine. I keep it on my kitchen windowsill so it doesn't get very much light, but it's still pretty happy. It's not quite ready to be repotted yet though, so. Alrighty. Maybe, yeah. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and repot some of my other plants first. So I can use this pot for soil, and then I'm going to use it for the peat moss in here just to get out all the gross peat moss. Okay, but I need to decide what pot to plant this in. Like, should I put it, I mean, this is way too big of a pot for this size of a plant, but I'm going to be propagating it, and I might go ahead and just get another one too. Oh no, here, let's move this. Okay, so these are my two options. They're both gigantic. I don't know. I kind of really like it in this one. If you guys think that like a different pot would be way better, let me know. But I think I want to put it in this one. It's not very happy, and I think it's because it needs to be repotted. Oh, and this pot, it has a crack at the bottom. So I kind of figure it'll work as some drainage. It's like there's a hole right here, but there's a crack. And so I'm a little worried that if I drill out that hole, then it's going to crack more. But this was a gray pot. That was pretty cool, but I didn't like it being gray, and so I painted it white. I don't know. And it still has this bumpy, cool texture to it. It was the color of it inside, and I just don't really like that. But I really like the pot, and it was super cheap, so. Anyways, I need to fill up this pot, I guess. Oh. Oh, I'm gonna go get some worm castings and some more soil. Hold on a sec. So I did about like 4 parts potting mix to 1 part worm castings, and it's a potting mix that's like an all-purpose one. So it has bark in it and it has some perlite, but basically whatever kind of potting mix that you usually use. Nothing special at all, and that's usually the kind that works the best for me, honestly. Just regular plain old potting mix with some perlite and good amount of wood chips. So I'm just gonna fill this up a bit. Okay. So there is some new growth on here. It's not that new because it was there when I got it pretty much, but it's still growing though. It hasn't stopped growing. So even though the rest of it has not looked that great as I would like, it doesn't look bad. I'm not worried about this plant. I just knew that I definitely needed to get it repotted. Otherwise it would be upset because these little tiny pots, these really small cans, they don't hold water. They don't hold enough. Now in the greenhouse, I'm sure it's fine because there's lots of humidity and they water everything all the time. But for in a regular house, it's just not going to cut it. So even when I propagate plants, I like to go ahead and put them in a little bit bigger of a container than they necessarily need, just that way I don't have to water them so much. And it's not necessarily the best for its root systems for all plants because they can kind of shock that way, but I have less problems with bigger pots than I do with smaller pots. Except for this one. Oh my goodness, my poor variegated rubber tree. I should not have repotted it because it was doing just fine. But it was in this little can. I'm like, well, with my other one, when I repotted it, it grew really big, so that's what this one will do. But instead, the container holds too much water and I need to repot it. But I'm not going to do that today just because I'm waiting for it to dry out really good before I do that. But yeah, that looks pretty good. I like it. Now it's actually flopping over a little bit and it looks cooler. Let's take off this dead leaf though. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Here, we'll put you in there. There, now it can live with the pilea. I really doubt that it's going to do anything, but you never really know with these Tradescantias. Sometimes they grow roots from the craziest places. Oh, and this already has little pads on the bottom. I love it when pots come with little pads on the bottom, so that way I don't remember, I rarely remember to put them on the bottom, but when they have them, it makes it so much easier for drainage. It just seems to work better, and the plant is, I don't know, I like the way it sits in the saucers better. Oh, speaking of saucers, so I put this one and this old, I don't know what you would call that. Would you call that an ashtray? It's awfully big for an ashtray, so I don't know. But I got it for $1.59 plus 50% off at Goodwill, and it's just so pretty. Not that that pot actually needs it because I rarely water it, and then apparently it's still holding too much water. So what are we going to watch and do? Oh, should we repot you? Oh my goodness. Oh, is that not just beautiful? Oh, that's so pretty. It needs something bigger in with it though. I don't know, maybe I could stick some leaves in it. Not leaves, twigs. Have some sticks in it. I don't know. It's so pretty though. Oh, I love that. This is just the most gorgeous trailing plant ever. I think I'll just go ahead and get a white pot to put it in, and then I can stick it in a hanging planter. That's why I made my macrames last week, the double hanging one in my craft room. Okay, let me go get a pot. Sometimes I wonder about myself. I put some rocks at the bottom of this pot just so that way there's a rock that's a little bit over the hole and the other ones are kind of holding it in place where soil can still come out. But it's not pouring out. For some reason it was just pouring out. It was crazy. So that is what I did. And usually when I repot, I'm not very good at getting the soil to stay up around the sides. And so I have to just backfill. And then I get it all over the leaves and the stems. And then I have to go and clean everything off afterwards, but it's better than having the plant up too high in the pot, which is what always ends up happening if I go the other approach that a lot of people use, which is fine and dandy, just doesn't really work for me. I forgot that the main plant in here is over towards this side and I need it to be more in the middle. Because this lipstick plant is really good in the middle, and so it can be over to the side a little bit more. Do you guys want to just see me potting these? Is that better? That's perfect. Now you can see my son's Legos a little bit over there. Yeah. No, I just put too much soil on the top. See, that's just what happens. Like, how long have I been repotting plants? My whole life, right? There. Wow, does that not look just, oh wait, you can't even see it. Doesn't that look beautiful? This is the best angle ever. So, what's next? What was I gonna put in? Oh, I was gonna put Bridalsville Tradescantia in this one. Well, let's just hold off on that for a minute, okay? Because, whoops. This one, look at that. There's like, the roots have not really grown. I don't know. The stem doesn't feel mushy, but it sure looks wrinkly. I must just need to water it. The roots look terrible. Are you alive? I don't know. This is just a weird plant. I don't know. Okay, so this one is going to get repotted. Hasn't used very much space in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it back its soil. Wait, so, oh yeah, here's a Bridalsville Tradescantia. Oh my goodness, look at that root system. See how much there is? It's so long. And then look at all those roots. I need to definitely actually trim this probably and go ahead and stick it back in there. So we'll save that. And then, this is just about ready. This pothos, like it's a Brazil philodendron. That's what this one is. I had some neon pothos in here. Oh, what are you doing upside down? Oh. This one is taking forever to root because my cat, or my son's kitten actually, keeps taking it out of the aquaponics. She has been a little stinker, but I've been slowly working on training her and she's actually doing pretty good. This one was rooting up really well too, until she kept trying to take it out, and so now it's rooting way up here instead of, it had a bunch of roots down here, but they all died and I stuck it in there farther, so now it's rooting up here. So I'll need to take off the extra leaves because it's going to be rooting up here. And oh good, it has another leaf that's coming out now because this one died and now it's pushing another one for this red Maranta. Oh, there's some Scindapsus with some good roots on it. This is awfully little, but I could go ahead and repot it if I wanted to. I don't think I will today, but oh, it's so cute and tiny. Oh! This Scindapsus doesn't have very much roots on it either because the kitten was taking it out, and so the root down here isn't as happy. And so I put it down there farther, hoping that one of these other nodes will produce something. And so you see with the Scindapsus, the reason why they call them pothos a lot of the time, or why I think they do, is because these nodes are just like a pothos node. They're so much more similar to them. And the way that the leaves unfurl and things, it's just, this plant acts a lot more like a pothos than a philodendron. However, the care isn't as easy as a pothos. I think it's more like a philodendron, which is still easy, just not as easy as a pothos. That Scindapsus though would be so cute in this. Aww. Oh no, maybe I do really want to repot it. Okay, so put some more soil in here. Oh wait. So these roots are so crazy long. But when you're repotting something like this, it's important. Oh, look at you. What are you doing? You're growing a whole nother plant up there? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this part back into the aquaponics because it's like this big old long thing of roots that's pushing another plant. So I'm just going to put this one in here. But it's important to remember that with aquaponics plants or water propagated plants that you need to water them a lot more when you first pot them because the roots are used to, well, not like a lot more, but you don't want them to dry out too much because the roots are used to water. And so this plant needs to then put out soil roots, right? At least that's what I've heard. These roots are so crazy long. I don't really, never planted something this long before. That's just insane for this little tiny of a plant. But, okay. Is that just really silly? Should I put that little Scindapsus in here? I don't know. Let me know what you think. I kind of think maybe I should. But look along here where it kept getting in the water and trying to push more roots. Oh my goodness, this thing. You, my friend, are incredible. Yes, you are. Okay, I'll stop pulling on you. So now it's time for this plant, which, you know, it's needed to be repotted because it's just in peat moss, which, you know, a lot of people grow it in peat moss and I don't really understand why, but they do. And it was doing okay. Ugh, but it's really awful inside. Look at this. Oh, that's terrible. See, what this does is it suffocates these roots. That's just what happens. Man. Probably should have went ahead and repotted this sooner. It's just it was doing so good. And I don't know. These roots inside though, that, you know, they're not that great. Trust me. But they're a different color because these roots on the outside were getting sunlight and so they're photosynthesizing roots. The roots on the inside though, where they've been smothered and suffocated, they're not photosynthesizing roots. So if you have yellow roots on your plant, that's not a bad sign. It's just when you get this brown and it's just soft or mush, that's when it's not good. Look at all that. That's just awful. This poor thing. I'm so sorry. I really should have repotted you sooner, huh? Okay, I'm going to go take this to the sink and finish cleaning it up. And then we'll repot it. Alright, so this pot has been sanitized. Oh, there's my orchid mix. I've been really into sanitizing all my pots lately just because I keep getting mealybugs and it keeps freaking me out. Well, I don't keep getting them, but like I get mealybugs now since I've been growing my collection more. So I used to grow it so slowly that I wasn't always getting so much awful pests. But now that I'm getting mealybugs, I have been washing all the pots that I get or old ones that I used already. And what I do is I rinse them out pretty good, and then I have a spray bottle with vinegar, water, and some like whatever essential oil I feel like at the time. Lately it's been grapefruit oil. I don't know. That's just like a cleaner that I use for certain things. I don't use it on everything because vinegar can break down seals and stuff. But it's a really good bleach alternative. It kills just as many germs without the harmful side effects. So I use vinegar a lot for this sort of a thing. And you just spray it in, I let it sit for a minute, and then I'm done. Okay, this has a lot of green roots on it, and so I want to let them still be out to photosynthesize. So, I don't know, I'm going to leave them up out of the bark a little bit. That way it's growing a little bit more epiphytically than just all being submersed in the bark. I feel like, I don't know. There, that's kind of cool. Now this is going to get rinsed off really good and everything else is going to get watered. So now everything is going to get cleaned off and watered, and then I'll put everything in their respective homes and I'll be done for the day. If you liked this video, let me know if you did, and also if you want to do more of a Q&A video sometime, leave me questions in the comment section below for that and let me know if you want me to answer them now or for that specifically, so that way I know which ones that you want me to answer now or later, because otherwise I might end up answering all of them because I have no chill when it comes to responding to comments. I am not like a big orchid expert, but I have gotten orchids to live really well before and bloom their heads off. But that was in specific conditions. So I would encourage you that if you're looking into orchid care, that it's Brad's greenhouse, and then there's another lady, she's like the orchid lady or something. And I'm sure that there's other people too, but my recommendations with orchids is just to water them through, like depending on your climate, every other week to once a month. That's kind of what I do. I just gauge on how much humidity I've had. And also, yeah, like how much water has been in there, like how much moisture is still in the bark. Because if I have this in a really humid spot, it really only needs to be watered about once a month. Honestly, that's been my experience. I just let them dry out all the way. I'll maybe miss the top roots so that way they get more moisture, because they can tend to dry out first before the other ones, of course. So, because I'll be part of like my misting regime sort of a thing, because about once a week or twice a week, depending on how much humidity is in the air, I'll mist these and some of my other more humid loving plants that will actually soak in that moisture. Not all plants do, and so it's not really necessary. But I do find that orchids like it. However, if you say have a 50-gallon fish tank and you set it on top of there and it's always getting humidity from that, you will be golden, believe me. That's been my experience anyways. But yeah, if you have any questions that you want me to answer in a Q&A video, please let me know, and I'll do another repotting with actual like more conversation with you guys or something, because I'm just talking about plants today. Anyways, I am going to go take care of all of these and clean up all this dirt and then do some laundry. So that's my exciting day. I hope you guys have a really great day. Bye!